Right, what a few weeks it's been for Michael Carrick and Manchester United. They've beaten Manchester City and they've beaten Arsenal in his opening two games. Can they keep that winning run going? That's a question for you, Jay Bothroyd. Fulham this weekend, then Tottenham, West Ham, Everton and Crystal Palace.
Yes, is the answer to that. I mean, if they keep playing the way they're playing, I definitely think so. They've been fantastic since Michael Carrick's come into the job. He's given them confidence. He's got them in a formation that they all look comfortable in, to me. And there's been some big performances. Beating Man City and then beating Arsenal is massive. But now Manchester United needs to show the consistency. You know, Fulham, they're a good side. But definitely these next, five games, they're winnable. They should be winning them games. Again, Tottenham, yes, but West Ham, Everton, Palace, no disrespect to them, but Man United should be beating those teams. It's a shame to see that Dorgu's out now because he brought so much to them. You know, wing back, then left back. Now he's kind of playing left wing, but he's just going everywhere. To see him get injured now, I think he's out for like 6 weeks. That's a big blow. But then Cunha comes on, scores a fantastic goal and just, slots right in there. So Man United are looking really good now. They've got really good options off the bench as well. And I don't see why they can't go and do more.
We've got a couple of voice notes on this topic. First of all, Damien.
Those two massive wins over the last week and a half have been amazing. So these sort of games against the mid-table teams like Fulham's and Palace, they've always seemed to make us struggle a bit more. Fingers crossed he can do it, but I think so. The team are playing in the right way. Everybody's there. Only Dorgu was out. Everybody looks strong.
Yeah, how disappointing would it be for Manchester United to beat the top two but then not beat the mid-table clubs, as he says?
Yeah, and that's been the inconsistencies that Man United have shown over the last few years. But I think the difference there of what Damien was saying is that when Man United play against Man City and Arsenal, you've got two teams that are coming out to Man United to beat them. These other sides like Fulham, Spurs, West Ham, Everton, Palace, they're going to be more disciplined. They're going to, be a low block. They'll probably play counter-attack football, and then it's hard to break down against those sides. So this is where now you need to have those players like the Brunos, the Mason Mounts, the Amads, where they can open up things, little intricate passes, scoring goals from the edge of the box. They need to turn up and put big performances in.
And we've got a voice note from Kev.
There's absolutely no reason why United can't push on, get results. Carrick's doing a decent job, and United have more than enough talent in their squad to finish top four.
Finish top four, yeah. Manchester United fans certainly confident at the moment, far more than they were a few months ago. Let's get more on this now and cross to Manchester United supporter James MacDonald. Right, James, how long can you keep this winning run going?
Hopefully indefinitely, but obviously that's not realistic. No, I think the next couple of fixtures, as we've just said then, are quite kind to us. So hopefully we can kind of put a few more back-to-back wins together. Hopefully that lad can get his haircut.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier on. I hope for his sake and yours that does happen. What do you think Ruben Amorim's thinking right now? Because Michael Carrick's doing all the things that you Manchester United fans wanted him to do, and it's working.
I think he's counting his money.
Well, that's a
I don't think he's thinking anything.
Cynical, classic ex-footballer's view, that is. Fan view, James. Yours is more important on this one.
It's better to cry in a Lamborghini, I suppose, isn't it?
Exactly, James.
But I think from a footballing terms, he is quite a young manager. And I think he showed a little bit of naivety towards the league and towards the teams in the league. And I think hopefully he looks back at this and maybe at his next job he kind of isn't so proud and kind of potentially has a bit more flex with what he does with the lads on the training pitch.
So the last two games you did go into it as underdogs, but you won them both. What's it going to be like going in as favourites for the next few games?
Well, I think that this is kind of what United's biggest problem has been over the last couple of years. We take big scalps, and then with the so-called lesser teams, we get caught out a little bit. I think hopefully though we're still riding that new manager bounce. The excitement's there, and we'll be able to kind of apply the same way we played against City to these games.
Okay. James, do you know Mbeumo's been playing as a striker? He looks like a real natural striker to me. He can come deep, he can go wide, he's running in behind, he finishes really well, very composed. Do you think that's his position for Man United in this Michael Carrick team?
Well, I think, to be honest, a few weeks ago, I wouldn't have said so, but when you're watching him play, he just seems to adapt to every position he's in. But he's looking the real deal, and he's given us an alternative to Sesko in terms of how we're approaching that front three.
Did you ever think that Manchester United fans would be panicking about an injury to Dorgu?
No, I don't think we'd ever be panicking about it. He has been pretty good the last couple of games.
Pretty good, James.
To say the least.
Pretty good. Come on, man, give him some credit. Very good. Give him his flowers.
Yeah, definitely give him his flowers. I said at the start of the season he'd probably be our one to watch for United, but I think he offered a really good balance with Ahmad going forward on either side of the pitch. But I think with him being injured, it's not up the end of the world. If you look at the formation that we're playing and the way we're playing, we've now got options on the bench. And Kuna coming in, he showed in the last 2 games against City and against Arsenal that he can play in that position and cause problems. I think the only issue is Dorgu obviously was up and down and he was quite defensive-minded covering for Luke Shaw, and it's whether or not Kuna can kind of fill in that blank.
But I see that. I see that in that performance. You know, I know he came on as a sub, but I did see him tracking back, getting up and down the field. He is young. He's very athletic still. And like you said, he's a threat. He's great at finishing when he's got a fantastic goal. I feel like Man United's squad is deep. I think you've got some really good options there. You've got youth in there. And it was great to see Mainoo come back in there. And these last few games, he's been fantastic. He showed composure. And it's exactly what Man United needs. Sometimes, you know, you need to control that tempo, and he's been doing that really well.
Absolutely. I think he's been one of the standouts since Carrick's come in. And I think he's thriving with having a bit of an arm over his shoulder and saying, go on, go play in your natural position, I suppose. But I think the good thing is at the moment, in this system, it looks like we've got some depth. In the last system that we played under Amarin, we didn't have the players to play that system. So when you looked at the bench, there was no match winners there. But you look at Arsenal last week, we get it to 2-2. You look at the bench, and you've got your Mainoo, you've got Kuna, you've got Mount, you've got Sesko, you've got people who actually can ball in the net.
And that's what I was saying. I think that's what Man United have that Arsenal really lack, is that Man United have shooters like that can score outside the box. You've got Mbeumo, you've got Mason Mount, you've got Cunha, you've got Bruno. You've got some players there that can score from outside the box. And when you're playing against a low block, that's what you need. I mean, that's why Arsenal struggled, I think, because I think teams look at Arsenal and say, you're not really a threat from the edge of the box. You know, you're a threat from wide areas, but right there on the edge of the box, centrally, Man United have that in abundance.
Absolutely. You've got players with ones of like right and left foot there who could just put pressure on and score screamers. And that's what won us the game ultimately. It was counter-attacking, let them have the ball as much as they can, but as soon as you've got a sight on goal, take a shot. Don't worry about passing it round and doing passages of play.
Yeah.
Take your opportunities while they're there.
And one thing I would say as well, I really don't like the fact that people out there, and some pundits as well, I mean, don't get me wrong, Roy Keane knows and loves the club, obviously better than I do. But I look at Michael Carrick and I say to myself, if he goes and gets Man United in the Champions League, winning games the way he's winning them right now, why doesn't he keep the job?
You're getting closer to thinking that, James. You're getting closer to thinking just give him the job.
Not right now, Tom, but I think if he does well this season, you have to give him the job.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the plan is keep an interim and get a manager you want in the summer, but he's put himself in the shop window. And if he keeps playing the way he's playing and we keep getting these results, how are you going to kind of go against him? If he's like this till the end of the season, it's going to be very difficult to kind of say no to him.
And James, who is there? Who's out there? I mean, Ancelotti just signed a contract with Brazil to 2030. Who else is out there that you think, yeah, he would definitely come in and have this kind of effect on the team and get us over the line?
Well, I think the two that I would say that I'd like at United, Enrique or Emery, and I think he'd turn down Real Madrid for us, definitely, with that nice Manchester weather. But no, I don't think... I don't think them two are quite realistic at the moment. Emery maybe, but I think they're the managers we'd go on. I think the managers we'd probably end up looking at, maybe it'd be a Tuchel, Pochettino or Glasner.
So would you take Tuchel and Poch? Would you take Tuchel and Poch over Carrick if he carries on doing what he's doing?
No, that's what I was about to say. If Carrick carries on doing this, then that's a bit of a no-brainer. I mean, I think Carrick would probably stay around for a bit more for the long haul. And Tuchel in the past, obviously, he hasn't been at many clubs for more than 3 years. So keep playing the way he's playing, and it's be hard to not pick him.
Do you think the reason why people are doubting Carrick is because when Solskjaer came in, he done really well, and then obviously took a turn for the worse and he ended up getting the sack.
Absolutely. We've had our fingers burnt before in the past, and because of that, I'm not sat here going, Carrick, give him the contract now, because Rio did that about Solskjaer and it ended up getting mean. No, but I think that is the case. I think we have seen in the past, we maybe jumped the gun a little bit with Ollie, not waiting till the end of the season and giving him the job, and then look how that turned out. So I think we've been a bit cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah, OK, well, let's see what happens between now and the end of the season. Of course, that game at the weekend as well. Thank you, James.
Thanks, James.
Cheers, guys.
What we're watching right now under Michael Carrick is not a fluke, and that's the key point. Yes, beating Manchester City and Arsenal back-to-back grabs headlines, but the bigger story is how Manchester United are playing. There's clarity, there's structure, and most importantly, players finally look comfortable in their roles. Carrick hasn't reinvented football. He's done something much smarter. He's simplified it. Players are back in natural positions, the shape makes sense, and United look confident with and without the ball. That's why the intensity is back. That's why the energy feels real, not forced. The next run of games, Fulham, Spurs, West Ham, Everton, Palace, is where the real test begins. These aren't teams that will come out and play. They'll sit deep, stay compact, and dare United to break them down. And that is where Carrick's credibility will be judged. What encourages me is the squad balance. United now have options off the bench. Players who can score from outside the box. Players who can change games without dominating possession. That's something Arsenal lacked, and United used it ruthlessly. Yes, losing Dorgu is a blow. He brought energy, balance, and defensive discipline. But the response matters more. And players like Kuna stepping in and delivering tells you this system is working beyond just one or two individuals. The big question isn't, should Carrick get the job now? It's this. If he finishes strong, how do you justify saying no? United have been burned before by acting too early. Solskjaer proved that lesson. But if Carrick delivers consistency, Champions League qualification, and keeps this level of performance, the conversation changes. For now, United fans are right to feel optimistic, cautiously optimistic, because for the first time in a while, this doesn't feel like hope. It feels like direction.